Box office figure, it's made 237 million as we speak.
Oh, wow.
So it just shows how
that's a success.
How it's a massive success. And I make this point basically every time we do this. These original stories over the blockbusters, over the Fantastic Fours,
they're the ones that are actually
Superman,
making the money.
They made loads of money, but they actually failed in comparison
to what they should have done.
Films, yeah.
But yes, now we are going to go into the actual movie review of Weapons. So if you haven't watched it, which you should have by now because it's maybe a month old.
It's been a while now.
Yeah, then shame on you.
That'll
but
be fun, you know.
if you haven't, then just pause it at this point and come back, as this review will contain spoilers. So to begin with, guys, the director for this one was Zach Cregger. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I think so. I was
is it
between
Krieger
Krieger
and Cregger, but I think I'll go Krieger.
I think I'll go Krieger as
yeah.
well. It sounds a bit nicer. And he is famous for his most recent horror, Barbarian, which came out in 2022. It actually scored a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. So people are kind of looking forward to what he was to do next. And when it was announced that he would be the director of Weapons, everyone was like, we got to see this film. Interestingly, he co-composed the score for this film, which means that he wrote the melodies, the arrangements, and the themes of the film. So I think this guy, he's looking on to becoming like one of the greats if he's that involved in his films. Based off how this film went, I'm not trying to skip all the way to the end, but I think he's on a good trajectory to, establish himself as a decent,
just
solid
minor tweaks. Minor tweaks, but yeah, definitely that one.
He was actually a comedian. I'm sure you guys know about this. He was part of the group, the Whitest Kids.
The Whitest Kids on the something?
The Whitest Kids you know.
The Whitest Kids you know.
And I thought it was interesting, like a comedian becoming a horror movie director, kind of like Jordan Peele, becoming a horror movie director. For some reason, there's a couple of other examples, but for some reason, that's a really good, like, transference of skills. It is, or whatever.
And that's what we kind of saw a little bit in the film. So although we're saying this is a horror film, at the end there was people laughing, in the middle there was people laughing, and at the start maybe a little bit of people actually giggling, and it got to a point where I was like, I'm supposed to be scared, but I'm just thinking what's gonna happen next, like what is actually gonna happen next. Like it is a bit, some of the things gruesome a little bit, but it doesn't scare me.
I was scared throughout the whole of it. However, I thought it was hilarious. That's the one thing I took away from the film. That was actually really funny. Yeah. And it wasn't like in your face funny. It was more, I'm so uncomfortable
that I have no choice to laugh.
But also, I think that made it scarier because I don't know. It kept me on edge because sometimes I was laughing and then immediately we go into a scary scene. But also because
I don't think I was on edge at all.
Yeah, I had a good balance. I had a good balance. Like, the suspense, I feel like throughout the film, when it came to those kind of moments, was really good. Like I could feel my heart racing and whatnot.
Like when we watched Boogeyman, the film was poor, but I was still like, oh no,
that's more like jump scares though in the Boogeyman.
Yeah, I guess so.
It was,
but there wasn't really. There was a couple of jumps.
I thought it was really scary. One scene, it was when Justine fell asleep in the car. And then Alex's mum came and cut her hair. I was
like, yeah, that is true.
When they heard the car door open.
That is true, because I think I was like wincing a little bit in my seat, just thinking, what am I about to see? But at the end of the day, did anything happen? She just cut her hair.
But that's the point. It kept you thinking like, what's going to happen? Because it was so funny at times, you kind of, I don't know, something about humor makes you grow to like the characters a bit more. Like James, he was the obviously drug addict character, and I got to like him. And then when he was in a scary situation, I was like, oh, to be honest, I hope nothing happens to James, to be honest. I know he's robbing a house right now, but I hope nothing happens to James. It's weird, like tonally it was all over, not all over the place, but it shifted a lot.
I would say I like the originality of the film. Like to be able to have, different people's perspectives throughout the film, I feel like that's what kept viewers engaged. And it's unpredictable because normally with horror films you can kind of predict how the storyline is going to go and whatnot.
So I think the premise, sorry guys, I didn't read out a synopsis, but the premises of this film was based off 17 kids in a class going missing, right? And we're then told this story from the perspective of, is it 5 or 6 characters? I think it's 5. If you go through, if you go on the names.
I'm not too sure.
It might be 5.
It's about 6, I think. I think it's 6.
We got Justine, we got Archer,
yeah, 6.
We got Marcus, got James, Paul, and Alex.
Yeah.
So was that 5? Was it?
Anyway.
Yeah, either way, 5 or 6, but it's basically told through the perspective of all these characters, and what it does is it actually shows you like we can all experience something and go to the same, I don't know, party, same event, something, you know, someone can get hit by the bus as soon as we come out of this podcast, but we can all have different events leading up to that individually that will somehow shape our opinions of what we saw or make us believe what we saw was different from what actually happened. And that's what you can see through the film. I think maybe I didn't know what was happening, so we've seen it starts off with Justine's perspective, and maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes after, it just ends and you realize, oh, it's who was next? Was
Archer.
it Archer?
Archer.
It's Archer's story now.
Yeah.
And then I didn't feel like all of their stories had equal length. I felt like some were longer than others. I felt like Justine was the longest, and I thought there was a deeper reason for why hers was the longest. But for me, the only deeper reason I'm getting, she was the class teacher where 17 kids disappeared. So it's like a bit of the spotlight is on her. And I think Archer was the second longest. After that, I felt they went quite...
Alex's was pretty long.
Was it?
Yeah, it was quite long.
I think his was the deepest to get to the truth.
But it was a whole end of the film where it explains basically everything. So I'd say it was the longest. It didn't actually, that storytelling technique didn't actually do that much for me. I think maybe only Marcus's storyline, which was he was a principal, and you see very early on in the film, he's like deranged running towards Justine. So it was, that's the only thing that stuck in my mind of I really want to know what happens to him. But otherwise, the storytelling technique didn't do that much for me. It reminded me of Pulp Fiction. If you guys watched Pulp Fiction, it's like that. But otherwise, I was like, this doesn't add to the story. Yeah. But I am, I guess, engaged and wanting to see different things from different perspectives.
I want to ask you, like, who do you think story was, you know, kind of a...
Who did I like the most? Or
who did you like dislike the most? Which story?
Dislike?
Yeah.
I didn't like Paul.
Archer.
Oh, as in like what it brought to the film?
What it brought to the film, yeah.
Maybe I might have, I was probably bored at Archer's one.
I think that's when I went to the bathroom.
I don't like Paul as a character, like just his character. Like that's not a guy I'd like.
He was so awkward.
Yeah, he was so awkward, but it was a interesting like point of view.
He was my favourite story.
It might be. It might genuinely be. I don't like the guy, but it was genuinely like, oh, this is interesting. Justine was a bit serious at the start because you're trying to piece things together, like what's happened. Marcus's story, I don't think I cared for it too much either.
Yeah, that was just kind of like...
It was him and Archer's that I just thought...
I was more interested into how he got turned into that thing.
Yeah.
Because when I saw that at the gas station when, was it Justine and Archer met, I was thinking, how the hell did he...
What's happened?
It felt like this countdown, and then as soon as you saw him wearing the Mickey Mouse top, you were like, this is his last day.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But the film is supposed to be a different kind of horror. It's supposed to be a psychological horror that focuses on loss, fear, and collective suffering of all these 5 or 6 different people. We still can't count. 5 or 6 different people. And the film was actually written by Zach Cregger when he was going through something.
Yeah.
So he's had a loss in his life. And it was at a time that he was looking for inspiration to write. Not necessarily inspiration to write, but as a writer, you kind of want to keep going or push yourself or, you know, test, you know, you're grieving, but you still need to put pen to paper and, you know, produce some stuff. And funnily enough, he produced this film whilst going through that loss and grief. And these perspectives somehow reflect what he was feeling and thinking during the time. So you're thinking, where did the inspiration come from? The inspiration came from what was happening in his actual personal life. Yeah. How do you think that was executed on screen?
I think the grief element through Archer, I could really feel it. The idea of losing someone and doing everything you can to get them back to a point where you're so exhausted.
Yeah.
So that element I saw with Archer. And then I did see, it's probably less about the grief, but did you hear he grew up, he doesn't go into it, but with like
parents that were alcoholic.
Alcoholic or addicted to some kind of substance, and that was shown in Alex.
Just where, has to get on with it.
Yeah, where Aunt Gladys represented the addiction and controlling his parents and having like zombie-like parents, going to school, pretending everything's fine, coming home, they're like zombies. So not necessarily about the grief, but I could see so much of Zach in each of the perspectives. Yeah. Even the alcoholism with Justine and Paul.
What about James? I didn't see, what's his thing with James?
Comedic. Okay, fine, yeah.
Yeah, that bit got me. I was like, how does this reflect through James? I'm not too sure. But I think Alex, when I was watching it, it got to a point where obviously we didn't know what happened. I was just thinking, what's going on? Why is he not saying anything? What's he talking about that people in the class are talking about it, but they don't get him involved? And I'm just thinking, what is up with you? And when we got to the bottom of it, I'm like, this makes perfect sense. And he did what he needed to do.
I'm not gonna lie, there was a madness though, like, for him to even say the words, I promise I won't say anything. Because remember to his parents, what's happening to his parents with the forks and that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that's the one bit that made me feel like,
I was like, oh my day. They're just poking themselves.
It's like, no, they're just doing it. I'm thinking like, to be doing that in front of their son as well. And you're meant to be his aunt. About the aunt stuff. I don't think she's. No, I don't think she's. I think what she's done is infiltrated the minds of random people. Definitely. And she's made them to think that there's some sort of relation. Because remember, even when Alex's dad was trying to explain the relationship in, I think, Alex's story, he was, I think he's related to your mum or something. It was so vague. Even when he was talking with his missus, they were like, we ain't seen her in like 15 years and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There are some aunts and uncles sometimes that come up to you during a party and like, I know you when you were a kid.
100%.
Yeah. So I thought it could have been that, but then the more and more I think about it, the fact that she's this like old sort of woman where she shouldn't even be alive right now, I'm thinking she could have been going on for 100 years. Like, she's not just going to stick to one family. She's going to move around. And the fact that she was appearing in people's dreams and she could do spells and compulsions and all these things, I wouldn't be surprised if she's tricked them to thinking that they're somehow related and they need to help her. But at what point in the movie did you realize what she was doing?
I think it was when was it? I can't remember what part it was again, but I feel like it was when she was speaking to Alex. That's when I realized. I was like, hold on, something's a bit off here. And then when she pulled out, like she said, oh, let me show you this. And she done the whole thing with the hair, the stick, telling him, oh, like, do you believe me? Yeah. I can show you all this stuff there. And then she showed, and I was like, oh my days, she can do all of that. Yeah.
But the purpose was obviously for it to help her live longer. The drain of their energy. I can't remember what point it was, but I was with Jada watching this, and I'm like, I think I know what she's doing.
Sorry to interrupt, but there's something I wanted to say about that, the whole draining of the energy. See, when she was basically almost dying like the second time, I was thinking, so has she taken all the energy from the mum and the dad? Like, are they alive or are they dead? Because that's why I got a bit confused, because I was thinking, like, if she's getting to the point where she's almost dying again, then the parents must be.
I think there's nothing left to take in terms of they're still physically alive, but maybe it's their soul or...
It could be
gone.
Yeah, their soul is gone. They have nothing to them. And I think you saw that towards the end, that even some of the kids that she did do the same thing to, I think it did say in the film, some of them weren't the same ever again. So I think there's elements to when it takes a bit of your soul out.
I think the longer it is with the parents, they probably will never be the same. Same with the kids, but with Archer, she took over Archer for a little bit, and he seemed to be fine after. So I think it's as long as
how long she's draining them for, really.
I wanted to go back to when I noticed. And I probably noticed as soon as she walked into the principal's office, I was like, there's something off about this woman. That's probably got the biggest laugh out of me. Yeah. Because I'm like, this is off. However, first 5-10 minutes, witch written on Justine's car. So it's like foreshadowing. So it's like Zach Cregger told us from the beginning, this is to do with a witch. And obviously we thought everyone was being really, really over I want to say oversensitive. They lost their kids, but
You know,
over.
At what point did you think Justine, she got nothing to do with this and she's actually innocent?
I thought she was innocent from the beginning, because normally it's like in a moment of madness like that, when something like that can't be explained or understood by humans, it's like we're just looking for someone to blame.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're like, no one really knows the answers. It was like with Fantastic Four, when Mr. Fantastic, when they asked him, "Are we safe?" He said, "I don't know."
Yeah.
It's like, this is someone to blame. So if the world ends, this is who we blame, because he meant to protect us, innit? So.
But then again, I just thought, okay, cool. She wasn't entirely responsible for their disappearance.
Yeah, but I swear she had
something was telling me.
Something.
Now, what's in your perspective? What did you do? And the fact that we saw her make mistakes by obviously getting with Paul, knowing that he's married, by drinking, driving, by she's been told by the head teacher, leave Alex alone. She's not leaving Alex alone. She's following him home and doing all this stuff. I'm thinking, this woman don't listen. I literally said this out loud. This woman don't listen.
But I want to add that another reason why I didn't think that she didn't do anything is because I'm thinking when the kids are just coming out their houses and they're just running like, I don't know how they're running like this with their arms out. I was thinking
they look possessed.
Yeah, like that's not. I don't
running
think
like Naruto.
Yeah, I'm looking at her and I'm thinking she doesn't look like someone that can do something like that. Do you know what I mean? I can feel her emotion. I can tell that she didn't know how to process what had happened. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, she's probably thinking, yes, I'm the adult here, I'm the teacher, and it's just me and one child that have survived. So of course they're gonna look at me. Yes. So mentally, she's probably thinking, damn, she's already going through stuff in her personal life already. So.
Yeah. I never thought it was her either, but like you said, she was kept crossing boundaries, and then she was just very unlikable, because I was a bit like, just leave Alex alone, leave the kid alone.
Leave Paul alone.
Leave Paul alone.
She's very eager.
So she was unlikable, but throughout the whole thing, I was like, well, she's unlikable, but she didn't do this. She didn't kidnap 29 kids or 17 kids or whatever. She didn't do that.
So when we get onto the time 2:17, when they decided to leave their house possessed, running into the street, there's been quite a few theories online about what the significance of 2:17 actually meant. What sort of things did you think, and what do you actually believe is the reason for the significance of 2:17?
I wanted to touch on one, and this is more of like through research I found one that said it was based on the political echo. Because in America in 2022, 217 House members voted in favor of the US assault weapons ban. So some people argued that that the number is subtle. It's a subtle political reference connecting the supernatural horror to the real world debates and control violence.
Am I imagining this? But was there an assault rifle saying
217? Yeah,
there was, isn't it?
The weaponization of like kids.
That was bad CGI, by the way.
It was kind of strange. And when Zach Cregger talked about it, he said it's apolitical. He wasn't making a reference to school shooting. But I know, like, one of my theories was that Parkland school shooting, 17 students in February, second month of the year.
Wasn't that 2018?
2018. It happened on Valentine's Day, but in the original script, Alex was. There was something about the kids handing things out on Valentine's Day, and that's what Alex took to give to Aunt Gladys. So there was something there, but I'll tell you what my actual theory is. Okay, but what was yours?
So I got 4, not that what I actually think it is, but I got 4 that obviously I've kind of looked into. The first one, 2:17, is the time that obviously the 17 kids disappear, right? 17 kids go missing, and 2 are left behind. Alex and the teacher. So I thought he was trying to sort of not foreshadow because it's already happened, but sort of play on the fact that 2:17, 17 kids are missing, 2 remain, boom, that's the time, 2:17. Because we see it everywhere. We see it in the police department, we see it in the clock shop, we see it everywhere, even on the assault rifle, we see it everywhere. So I'm thinking, what is the significance of that? And I've seen that obviously explanation. I'm thinking, that could be it. There's another explanation talking about, obviously the loss of his friend. I'm doing it a disservice because I can't remember his friend's name, but it's
Trevor Moore,
thank you. That's been put out there widely that his friend passed. And it wasn't 2:17, it was probably around 2:39.
It was 2 o'clock.
It's about 2:30, and it was, are you going to go to the date?
No, I wasn't going to go to the date.
It was the 7th of August, 2021.
Yeah.
So 21/7.
Yeah. And I think what he wants to, not what he wants to do, but I think that has changed his life in terms of him actually noting down dates and times, right?
Mm-hmm.
To hear the loss of somebody at a particular time makes you value time or see time as something that is very important. That's why it was throughout the movie 217, because when he lost his friend, whatever date and time that was, that's something that he never forgot, you know? So I think that was inspired, focusing on the time. Another one that I saw as well was a biblical sort of play on it, where Rachel in the Bible was weeping for her children that were no more. So there was a time in the Bible where obviously they said that a king will be born, then referring to Jesus. That was the prophecy. And King Herod at the time said, yeah, not on my watch, I'm killing all the babies. That's basically what they did. Mm-hmm. So as he went about killing all the babies, Rachel was present and she lost her kids. So in the Bible, in that verse, Matthew 2:17, it does say, a voice was heard with Ramah weeping and loud lamentation. Rachel was weeping for her children. She used to be she refused to be comforted because her children are no more. So 2:17, them children in the film, they're no more. Mm-hmm. But 2:17 in the Bible scripture, the children are gone. So I thought about that as well. But what I think is the real reason, which I'm happy to settle on, is because Zach Cregger is actually taking inspiration from a film called The Shining. In the 1980s by Stanley Kubrick. I think that's how you say his name. Mm-hmm. And he says that is one of his favorite films, like, to death. Mm-hmm. It's one of the staples for his sort of horror inspiration.
It's one of the best films.
They say exactly. And he just says, yeah, listen, in that film, they had a room called 217.
237.
Hold on. So the actual book, there's an actual book on this film, and the book is 217.
I actually own it.
Oh, you?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I never got around to reading it, though.
So how did you get it?
I bought it.
Recently?
No.
Just randomly?
A couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
It's a really good book.
Oh, wow.
Apparently. And a really good film.
In the book, they refer to the room as 217, where all these sort of adventurous, like mythical, sort of evil explanations happen in this room, where some things are just not explained, but we just know evil happens there, yeah? But when they actually tried to make that book into a film, they didn't want to use the room 217 because they would stop people from actually wanting to. So they did it off a real hotel, right? And they didn't want people to not want to book the room 217 because bad things happen. So in the film, they changed it to 237. That it could be like played around with, where it's either 237 or 217, where supposedly, but they just wanted to take the energy away from 217. So Zach Cregger's seen this, and the inspiration of 217 is like mythical, adventurous, evil. Yeah, cool. 217. That's one of my favorite films. So favorite rooms. I'm putting that in my film, and I believe this one.
I believe that theory. I think that suits more so Zach Cregger's like personality. But I've been listening to like a lot of interviews with him and stuff. Honestly, my theory is just a random number. I think the way that people ask him a question and they'll say, "Oh, what was it about? You know, this and the gun in the sky and whatnot." He does have answers for some things. Other things, he's just like, "Guys, it was just funny," like, or "Guys, it was just scary. I just put that in for a jump scare." He's very, very like, what I don't know what the word would be. Like, he's just very matter of fact. Yeah. So I have a feeling that's just when Aunt Gladys woke up to get her bowl of water. And also because the kids, she knew that the kids wouldn't be near their parents. She'd have a bit more.
So you're saying it could have been 215, 216?
It has to be by design, isn't it?
Random.
You think by design?
I think by design.
I think by design as well.
I think he's playing, not a prank on us, but I think it's in the poster. It's mentioned in the movies a lot. It's mentioned in the synopsis. But it doesn't mean anything. I have a feeling that's his sense of humour, that he's got us all like pulling at straws.
Because look, we're having a conversation about it right now.
Yeah, so, and he's laughing at us.
Yeah.
Hi, Zach.
Yeah, saying, yeah, she's right, we're wrong. So I guess so. But yeah, interestingly, that was obviously a big topic from the film. If we move on to the actual actors, we have Julia Garner as Justine Gandy. Obviously the teacher that's been accused of I don't know, kidnap. I don't know what she was accused of. She was just accused of something. Something to do with...
I want to hear what she has to say.
Literally. So people may recognize her from Ozark. She played the character of Ruth Langmore, and she's won 3 Emmys from
Fantastic Four.
She was in Fantastic Four.
She was the Silver Surfer.
Oh my lord!
You didn't know
Julia
that?
Garner. I literally said, "Oh my days!" I said that in the last podcast as well.
Bro.
But that literally just...
It's crazy.
Yeah, but mainly, Ozark. She's in Ozark, and she won 3 Emmys off that.
Yeah, she was cold.
We have Amy Madigan as Aunt Gladys, and she was also a Golden Globe winner for her part in the Roe v. Wade TV movie series in the 90s. We had Josh Brolin as Archer Graff, who's best known... Is that how you say it? Archer Graff or Archer Grey? Archer Graff?
I think Graff.
Archer Graff, yeah. And he's best known for his role as playing Thanos. I was like, that's him.
Oh yeah, he does play Thanos.
Yeah.
Yes, I was looking at his face. I was like,
where do I know you from?
I think he's in everything.
Yeah, he's in loads of things.
He's a great actor.
He's good. He plays Thanos. Then we got Benedict Wong as Marcus Miller, and he's also best known for playing Wong in the Avengers. So Wong,
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi.
Come on.
As well. So a little Marvel backstory there. Then we have Austin Abrams as James Anthony, who's best known for his role as Ethan Daly in Euphoria. Obviously, Ash knew that. I knew she was going to say something. And then we have, I think it's Alden. I can't say that surname.
Yeah.
Alden. I learned how to spell it.
This is how people struggle when they say my name.
Ehrenreich.
Ehrenreich. All right, cool. As Paul Morgan. And he was actually, guys, in Oppenheimer. I don't know if you remember him.
Was he one of the scientists?
He looked familiar. He was, so Robert Downey Jr.'s character, I think he was like the sidekick in the court. So he was like a side, like, I don't know if it's a clerk or the right term for them, but he was just like one of the junior sort of like lawyers or whatever. But yeah, he also is in Oppenheimer, interestingly. But any standout performances from any of the actors I just mentioned?
Amy Madigan.
Yeah.
Aunt Gladys will go down as one of the greats in horror with like Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger. The Scream. I'm telling you now.
Okay, yeah.
In 10 years' time, we will be
talking about it.
Yeah, we'll have a 10-year rewind, and we'll be and she will have been up there with the slasher and Scream. I'm trying to think of some other people, but the greats in horror.
Do you know why I made that face? Is because I don't know, man. Just the way it ended, didn't it? It might just stain it a little bit, man.
That's not her fault, though.
It's not her fault, innit? But it's like it's what I say in terms of in 10 years she'll be remembered and that. But it's like
I don't think you mean for this film in particular, do you, or just in general her career?
No, not her career. The character itself.
The character.
When we think about when it gets to Halloween and we think about the greats and whatnot, she will be in that conversation.
From this character.
Guys,
I'm not
even saying she's scary, but I haven't laughed like that in a cinema for so long, just out of pure uncomfortability.
It's a horror. You're not supposed to be laughing.
Elevated horror. Just out of pure uncomfortability. When she was speaking to Marcus in the office, and when she went to his house, guys, I was crying, but only because I know a lot of like interesting looking people. that I'm just like, it was the wig off, the makeup off. Did you see that Zach Cregger, he gave Amy Madigan, he said, here's 2 backstories for Aunt Gladys. Choose one, don't tell me. And one was like an alien who's trying to pretend to be human.
Oh, so he gave her the option.
He gave her the option, and that's why she looks a bit off and her wig's a bit off, because she's trying to look like a human. And the other was like an old woman who's suffering from a life-threatening illness and then uses witchcraft to try and...
You know what? I'm starting to see what she's saying now. I'm starting to see what she's saying, because she's not like your traditional antagonist when it comes to horror films. Like, she's a different kind of antagonist. So, no, I get you. I hear what you're saying.
I think I'm going with Alden. How do you say his name? You said it.
Ehrenreich.
I think him playing Paul, he just displayed so much sort of emotion from the character that I actually felt sorry for him at one point. I actually laughed at him at one point. I was actually disgusted at him at one point. He took me through so many emotions, and just the moustache and the sort of like way he played that character, I think we should shout him out. I agree. He was really good in this.
He was my second fave. I think yeah, like you said, he took me on a roller coaster. At first, I thought he was a really nice guy, just trying to do his job. And then I like the fact that, like, he asked who?
James.
James.
Is it James, the guy, the drug guy?
The drug addict. Sorry, I lost my mind. He asked him, like, oh, can I check your pockets? And I was like, okay, you know what? Police officer trying to actually follow the procedure, gets stabbed with the needle and immediately punches him in the face. And it's like such a nuanced character where he tries to do the right thing. He got angry.
But I'm not saying police officers should do that, but your natural reaction is that I asked you, are you sure? And you're like, hey, yeah, nothing. And then I've pricked myself. I was thinking he could get all sorts of diseases from that.
He was like, do you have AIDS?
Yeah. Before he said that, I was thinking, needles. I was thinking all of that kind of stuff. And even when he got stabbed in the face, I'm just like...
That one was crazy. I cried. But
I was like, why are they doing this to him?
So funny. This is what I mean.
Through it, bro. He was going through it. He was my favorite one as well. I can't lie to you. Like, especially he was also.
But then after a while, you could see that he wanted to almost like bully James.
Yeah, no, of course, because he couldn't bully no one else, isn't it?
If you think you've got AIDS and you're waiting for your test results, and you see the guy and you told him, do not come back here, and you see him walking towards your place of work, I would.
He wasn't going to file the report though. He was going for the reward.
He didn't know that.
Yeah,
so that's what's funny when you see it from different perspectives, because in his mind he's thinking, I'm gonna report like there's children somewhere, like I'm hearing there's a reward, I'm going to the police station. And you see the other side, what's he doing here? Like, yeah. So it was very, that bit was very like comedic, like it was funny. I was laughing at him going, hey, and just like running after him.
And then when he got stabbed in the face,
that one was insane.
I was crying, guys, in the cinema. Yeah. I was actually quite annoying in the cinema because I was laughing that much. 3
needles, Yeah. 3. That's insane.
That's crazy.
I just want to say, Alex's one had me the most hooked though. Alex's one, is that his name? If I remember,
Alex the kid.
Yeah. His one had me the most hooked. He was my second favorite one.
Oh, really?
Because his one was, I think, it was so deep, and I was really interested to see his perspective. Because when I kind of got how the rhythm of the film was going, I said I want to see Alex's one.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Because in terms of like, you're keeping quiet, but you're very like important here.
Yeah.
Because all your classmates gone. Like, what do you know that we don't know? So for me, it was Justine and Alex. You two are the only people that haven't got gone. So you guys have some explaining to do. Justine, we realized quite early on, she actually doesn't have the answers. But Alex, he had all the answers. And then the film showed us like what those answers were and why he couldn't say anything.
Yeah, but I think that was my only letdown of the film, because surely if 17 kids go missing and 1 is left behind, surely it isn't just one house visit to check what's going on with his parents, and his parents look really strange with marks all over their face.
Yeah.
I don't think that was explained very well.
Yeah.
But then I also feel like Aunt Gladys,
manipulated,
and I kind of liked her way of like, she was just playing it by ear. She wasn't the perfect villain. She was literally just doing things as they came up, solving problems as they came up.
Yeah, no, literally. No, I was going to say that.
So really quickly, I have sort of like tags for all of the characters and actors of what they displayed. Ash went into it a little bit. But Aunt Gladys, she's obviously seen as the addiction sort of monster throughout the whole film. Alex is obviously the child that's forced to kind of like adapt to the situation and just like roll with it.
Become a man so early.
Yeah, and I think it just, you see him doing all that shopping and
feeding the kids, his parents.
He was only 9 years old at the time of filming.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah,
he did. Is this his first film? I feel like he's done really good.
Yeah,
really well.
Big him up for that. But yeah, a child that was forced to kind of like adapt to the situation and just be quiet and stum about what's happening. Justine is obviously the adult who just drowns in pain, and a lot of the pain is not her fault, but people are just directing everything her way because they're looking for someone to blame. She also relies on kind of like alcohol and, just drowning in her sorrows before she tries to figure out what's going on. Archer is the person that just is grieving rage. So when you're grieving, like sometimes you might just be a bit angry.
I was going to say there was also one funny moment with Archer as well when he was having his dreams with Matthew. And then he was like, what the?
What did you say?
WTF.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
And I also just want to say with Archer that it's funny that his kid ended up being Alex's bully.
Oh my days, I found that so
was
mad
a
as
good
well.
reveal, but also it's not a shock because he bullied Justine, was writing rich in her car, trying to ostracize her. So it's interesting. Parental dynamics.
That father, that son, man.
Paul was the enabler and the denier. He was just obviously his character was just so, like you said, he wants to do good, but he doesn't. He was just so wishy-washy. He never knew where he stood. He never really kind of fought for the things that he actually, the right things that he wanted. Like, he was in a relationship.
He wanted to do the right things, but he's itching to just do.
Just
go left.
He's in a relationship, a committed marriage or whatever. But it looks like he's been forced into it, or he's just not enjoying it, or he's just not with it. He ends up cheating with Justine. Justine ends up getting beaten up by the wife because of him. Like, he punches James in the face. He's just like a bit of a character. Like I said, I love the performance from the actor, but as a character, he just seems like, you just enable this stuff, and you don't actually.
You don't have no corners.
Yeah, you don't actually deal with what you need to deal with. And then we have obviously Marcus, the head teacher, and he represents like failing sort of systems where things have been brought to your attention. At one point, I did think he was going to investigate properly, because he did kind of get onto, I think, was it Aunt Gladys, or who did he speak to when he said, no, I actually have to see Alex's parents.
It was Julie. Was her name? Was it Julie?
No, I don't think he would.
When he had the meeting with her, because she was insisting that I want to speak to Alex, but he said no.
Yeah.
All that stuff because of everything else.
But I think he should say no. But I thought what he did, in terms of what I was happy with, is him saying, I actually do have to speak to the parents. Like, it's a bit weird what's going on. And he was onto Aunt Gladys. Like, there was a point where you realised, he knows something's up. And I think that's why she's obviously done what she did to kind of like kill him. Well, she didn't kill him. He drove himself crazy. But the eyes, though, I thought they were going to pop out of his head.
I had a feeling something was going to happen as well, because she looked at like his ribbons on the side as well. And I was thinking, what's she going to do with this? Yeah, so
his
now
death was,
and he just headbutted his partner.
That was insane. That was
actually
a
quite
crazy
sad.
moment.
Have you ever like had a really hard week at work, waited for Saturday, got all your snacks, ready to watch a film? Imagine someone coming and ruining that.
Oh my days.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I just find it so mad. Like, even the way she was acting, anytime that she'll pretend that she's not feeling good, then all of a sudden she's got this burst of energy. I'm thinking, and you're still letting this woman into your house?
Yeah.
You're like, mad.
Hell no. You got to leave. But it's always that dumb partner. Yeah, you can come in.
Yeah, of course you can have some water.
You don't know him. The guy that knows him is saying absolutely not. You don't know him and you're saying come in. Like,
it's always that one person.
But it has to happen anyway. Ash, do we got any numbers on this film? Or before we go into that?
Can I just quickly, I've got a list of just, I thought about the movie boundaries, how people break boundaries. And I just made a quick list, like Justine following Alex home. Massive boundary breaking. Gladys going to the principal's house.
100%.
Breaking boundaries. Crazy, Alex stepping over the salt, which was breaking a physical boundary, which caused chaos. Yeah. And that's like breaking boundaries.
That's when his parents went mad, isn't it?
Yeah. And every time they break boundaries, chaos happens. Like Justine and going, she got her hair chopped off and whatnot. Asking, when Archer asked to see the Ring camera footage.
Yes.
And
she was told no.
The mum said no.
And then he asked her husband.
I hate when men do that. It's very annoying.
I was like, what happened? So the husband said,
I would speak to the men of the yards.
Yeah, Paul asked to check James's pockets. Asking about boundaries. Yeah. And then obviously crosses a boundary by punching Paul in the face. But yeah, numbers, right. So
interesting to expand.
It's true still.
Budget was 38 million.
Kind of low?
Low, which shows. Anyway, sorry. Box office figure, it's made 237 million as we speak.
Oh wow!
So it just shows how
that's a success.
How it's a massive success. And I make this point basically every time we do this. These original stories, over the blockbusters, over the Fantastic Fours,
they're the ones that are actually making the money.
They made loads of money, but they actually failed in comparison
to what they should have done.
Films, yeah. Yeah, that's the figures. I won't even go in too much.
Good. Fizz, what do we got? What are people saying online? Good and bad.
This one, they gave it a 4 out of 10, titled it very mid. They said, I was expecting much more just by seeing the reviews. The true rating of the movie would be around 4 or 5. Not scary, very mid story, and seems like an unfinished movie. I don't understand the idea behind this movie at all. It does not show the deep emotion of the parent who has lost their child. There are unnecessary plot twists, seeded with no continuation, and that maybe there's something else going on moment instantly. maybe there's something else going on in the moment, but it instantly dies. Other than that, other than in the most tense moments, people were just laughing in the cinema because it had no build up. You felt zero tension while I was watching it. Ending felt like it could have gone in many different ways, but they chose the worst one. Basic option. Overall, 4 out of 10, very disappointed. I was going to ask you about the ending. How do you not feel about that?
Yeah, we didn't actually touch on that.
I thought that was weak.
It was a weekend.
It was weak, because that's why I was a bit like, yeah, that ending was weak.
Did they eat her or rip her apart? What did they do? Someone told me they ate her.
Guys, sorry, I loved the ending. I thought it was really, I think the word is cathartic. I felt a massive sense of relief. It was nice to know that the kids got their revenge, and then you find out that actually a lot of them are in this vegetative state. I thought it was a great ending. It
added
was
to the comedy, her running through.
I found it a bit mad that Archer just took his son and just left, and all the kids were just there.
You never really see like villains get their like proper revenge from their victims. So I thought it was.
That's a fair point to make, but just because I didn't feel like you said they were in that vegetative state afterwards, where it's just like
that's hard, but it raises the way it raised.
For me, it would have done, but it would have done it justice if they did that, and then all of a sudden, okay, they forgot what happened, but they like, oh, where am I, sort of thing. But the fact that you're telling me,
they're just standing there.
I think it shows like things. Obviously, we're talking
Alex's
about
parents
witches.
are done. Like they were done. That was not nice.
Finished it off. I think we are talking about witches and stuff, but sometimes in life things happen. And
that can't be revenge.
Yeah, and you think you'll get your revenge and you'll feel a lot better, but actually, that thing that happens has ruined everything. I don't know. I got that feeling out of it.
So, for me, weekend and
it was a very week. That's what put it down in the overratings for me. But either way,
we'll get there.
We're
nearly there.
So yeah, this one they gave it 8 out of 10. They said great with minor flaws. A very enjoyable movie. The writing, characters, and acting are all great. From concept to execution is all really done well. It blends suspense with humor really well. It's definitely not a comedy. It just feels very funny in a natural way. I think the conclusion of the movie was a bit weak, like at the very end. I'm with the movie 99% of the way, but then those last 30 seconds kind of lose me. I just think it could have wrapped up a little bit better. It's like if you listen to someone play the most beautiful song on the piano, only for them to miss the last note. Either way, a very enjoyable movie. I will definitely watch it again soon. This is where I'm more.
I think this is my review.
That's more where I'm aligning.
Yeah, it's not a disaster. That ending is not a disaster, and it doesn't drag the whole thing down. But you could just say, it could have ended it a little bit better. We could have had a different sort of scenario. I'm not sure what scenario I would have wanted, but what I saw in that last 5-10 minutes, like it almost became a joke.
It's like Game of Thrones ending, isn't it?
Like
Game of Thrones, isn't it?
Yeah, Ash answer to that.
No, Game of Thrones ending was uninspired. It was.
She saw look at her face.
It was lazy. It was uninspired. This was different, and also you're not. I don't know. I get the sense with Zach Cregger that you're not meant to always like what you're doing. You're not meant to always take this crazy interpretation. He just does it because why not? Why not have all these kids rip her apart?
But it looks silly.
She traumatized him.
We just been screaming like.
To be honest,
running through glass houses.
Through the houses was hilarious, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, she's got no shoes." That was hilarious.
It was hilarious. It was, but it just made for me the movie a bit silly. That's all. I didn't think it was It was a funny film, like you said. I don't think it was on purpose to make this a comedy, but there was therefore a lot of like comedic things that we saw. You saw a lot of thriller things as well. It was not just a plain horror.
Good balance.
This was a good like psychological horror, but towards the end, it's just like that's a bit silly.
Funny enough, Zach Cregger, he said he wasn't actually trying to make it funny. He said he tried to make one part funny. It might have been the what the F moment. Yeah. He knew that was going to get a laugh out of people, but he actually wasn't trying to be funny.
So then that's even worse then.
So that
to get that ending is even worse.
That might add to you guys' point. Sorry, Zach, I might be misquoting you here.
Okay, cool. Ratings. I'm going to give our final ratings. I'll say, Ash, you go first. Because I actually think this goes against so many of my other ratings. Like, I'm looking at the F1 movie now, like, oh my gosh, that's so mean. 8 out of 10. But I'm looking at
Do you see the look he gave me?
I'm looking at the F1 movie, like, did I not give that 6.5, 6.75, whatever? I don't know. Do you know what? I think I've got a newfound, like, I don't want to say love, but respect for Zach Cregger. I like him as a person. I've listened to his interviews and he's very matter of fact. Do you ever listen to directors and actors and they're like, oh, I done this because, you know, the wind was taking me, and he's just like, I done it because I wanted to do it and that's what I wanted to do.
That's refreshing.
And it's also he said that it's very, his project was very unambitious, and that's why it went so well, because he wasn't trying to do something big and flashy. And that's why it's gone so well. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Wow, I would have given it an 8. Ooh. But because of that ending, it just took it just a little bit down for me. So I gave it like a 7.8 out of 10.
This is high. That's still high.
It's still high. But that ending, man, it's like, man, you had me all the way.
I think he's gonna try to get his revenge and do a free
No. I'm genuinely not gonna do that. For me, I've gone with 7, just a flat 7.
So
yeah, I would have probably got 7.5 if it didn't get a little bit too silly at the end. It was just weird because I didn't expect to see that in the cinema, and when I finished watching it, I actually felt good. Like, I'm saying, horrors, I don't like horrors. If we can get more horrors than that, like that, bar the ending where I thought it got a bit too silly, I'll be watching a horror every week, mate. So I think for me, I'm being honest. I think for me, this was a decent horror, and I'm happy to give it 7. And I think overall that gives us a score of 7.6, which is...
I can't lie though, Ash. See, after I watched this film, when I got back to the ends, I was looking around, like, because the elephant and castle was flipping, it was empty. And I was looking around, I was a bit, hold on, let me not even do this right now.
Let me make sure there's no Aunt Gladys.
Yeah, let me keep walking, because
it
was a bit mad.
No, I never felt that way.
I didn't feel that way.
Completely fine.
And I think that's why we enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. It was just that one moment I just felt like, nah, because I haven't watched a horror film in a minute where I was like, I really kind of came out of the film like, oh, I actually like that. You know what I mean?
So 7.6 gives us, it number 8 in the all-time rankings.
Oh, that's high.
It is high.
That's quite high,
just below, F1, which we gave a 7.7.
You know what?
So justified.
Yeah, as long as it's not over F1, then yeah,
justified. And for this season, it gives us number 4.
Do you know what? That's fair. Every time I think of this season, I think of Argyle.
I was going to say, what's in the overall table? What's above it? What's below it? Sorry,
what's below it? Deadpool Wolverine at 7.5, John Wick 4 at 7.5, Kingdom of the Apes at 7.5.
You saying Ash, those films, this film better than those ones that's below it?
I liked Kingdom of the Apes.
So
I thought it was a more well-rounded film. So,
does it beat Deadpool Wolverine?
Nah, Deadpool was really funny.
Yeah.
But that's it.
No, this is better.
This is better.
This is better. I'm happy to say that this is better. And for season 2, literally, this is our 14th film now, and it's come number 4.
And what's above it? Sorry?
What's above it is literally F1 as well.
Like Dune.
Oh, so
Sinners,
Dune,
F1.
Sinners, F1 now.
I'm happy with this list.
I'm happy with
I
that.
think that's fair.
I think it's very fair as well.
I actually think our rankings have gotten better this season.
I think so as well.
Yeah,
they've matured.
Matured, yes.
They've matured.
I want to know, where's Creed in this?
Oh my God.
Where's Creed in this?
Every week we talk about Creed.
It's probably
that was the original, man.
Creed sits at number 6.
That's
overall
so high.
Yeah. See, that's the original, you know.
Yeah,
man.
It's our first film. It's gonna have a little asterisk next to it.
Yeah.
We say this all the time. But guys, let us know what you guys think, what your ratings are in the comments. Let us know what you thought about the characters, the themes, the director, all the good stuff. Let us know in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Peace.